All right, so hey guys, I have such an important question for you.
All right, go on. I'm listening.
What song do you think Katy Perry sung while she was in space?
Was it one of her own songs?
Well, you see, they haven't
The
revealed.
firework one.
I was thinking the same
That
thing
feels
too.
like bad luck if I'm in a space shuttle.
Yeah, baby, you're a fire.
No, it's like I am a fire. Well, yes. Yeah.
Doesn't she say bird, bird, bird or something like that? Or
Actually,
light up the
yeah,
sky?
people don't realize that actually the fireworks about the Columbia incident. So
no, what's the other one? Oh, the girl anthem one of like Roar.
Oh yeah. I
Definitely.
like the things that make this all kind of unhinged to me is like I think Katy Perry has made some
Katy Pod.
Katy pop music.
Katy, yeah.
she's made some decent pop bangers. I'm not going to, and she's got some pipes. She can sing. It's just that none of her songs strike me as like this would work completely unaccompanied.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what
like
I mean?
hyper overproduced and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you know what I think that she's saying. I think that she
What?
sang the Kanye's verse on the song E.T. where he's just like, what's that, alien sex or whatever? Yeah.
Oh, true. She does have that song.
Yeah. Well, the original
yeah.
song doesn't have a Kanye feature. The music video version that got released later did have a Kanye feature, and it has one of Kanye's oddest verse. I mean, maybe not oddest because the scoop de poop is like the weirdest, or the one where he's like talking about like bleached assholes. But yeah, Kanye just says alien sex at one part of that verse,
Cool.
and it rips.
Cool.
I was also thinking in a similar direction because the thing about Katy Perry is everyone has featured with her or something, or she's featured on something.
Yeah, she is the female pit bull.
Yeah.
No, that's Nelly Furtado. And she's actually good. So
Yeah,
like
okay,
Pitbull.
fair, yeah.
Okay.
she's like a Nelly Furtado wannabe, I think.
That's fair,
think
yeah. That's a fair point to make.
I just in my head I thought that like the most maddening thing, like I'm looking down at Earth, enjoying the majesty of all of creation. My
It's
heart
like
filled
alien
with awe
sex
and love for all of my fellow human beings who deserve happiness, security, and dignity. And then in the corner, I hear Katy Perry sing all the parts of Starstruck, the song she did with 303, a band everyone has fucking forgotten.
No, it's such a banger. Oh my god. I love that song.
I don't remember that song, and I'm quite...
Makes a girl go,
Like,
woo,
2000
woo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, now I remember that song. Thank you. That's what that song's called?
Starstruck with,
yeah.
I believe, 3Ks, so it's in Mao Standard English.
Starstruck,
It is.
Yeah,
actually
I'm not even kidding. I think it's 2Ks. I think they're still just like, you know, Americans with their heads screwed on straight of like, maybe just we don't put 3Ks in our in a row in our song title.
The whole thing of these people going up in the spaceship has been the dumbest fucking shit ever. And they truly thought that it was like they could brand it as this like feminist win. And everyone's seeing through their bullshit. Like even the most like, you know, bubblegum feminist people are like, yeah, no, this this is not cool. This is not great. And also just the footage of it, just like the fucking journalist being like, congrats, you're an astronaut now. It's like, no, you're a tourist. You just took like you haven't
like,
done shit to deserve that title. And then the Katy Perry being like, oh, I'm just so full of love. I'm just so connected with love. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, woman? Like,
yeah,
it's really also just like it's like cheapened the, not even just being an astronaut, just like cheapened space travel. Like I don't care anymore. Actually, like maybe we should never go into space ever again.
Like, yeah,
we literally shouldn't though. It's so contaminating. Like it's so stupid.
We went from like in a period of like 70 years or 80 years, like, reaching, a level that humanity thought they would never get to. And then now it's just like, yeah, but what if it was lame and no one wants to do it anymore?
It is amazing how this is, in a sense, like this has completely backfired on what they were attempting, or at least claiming to attempt to do, which is, it's literally, we're playing out the plot from that one Simpsons episode where they tried to send Homer and Barney into space. It's because it's like, no one pays attention to rocket launches anymore. We need to send a common man to space. Because that's kind of like what they were doing with all this space tourism, like SpaceX, Blue Horizon, whatever the fuck the Bezos one is called.
Yeah, it's called that Blue
Horizon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like all that stuff was meant to make like space travel kind of exciting again, and it's actually just gone the opposite direction, like Nick is saying, of just like, no, this seems like stupid now. This actually seems dumber. Like, I was for space travel and exploring space when it was like NASA or whatever doing it. Now I'm actually virulently against it.
All those Soviet dogs died for nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what?
You're an astronaut, Katy, like a dog.
It's not even just stupid, it's cringe now. And that is the worst thing that someone or something can be.
How did we make the like coolest feat of humanity into something so cringe? It's disgusting. This is what like, whatever new version of feudalism that we're in wants you to do. They want you to make everything just shit. Everything. Yeah. Even cool, even fucking space travel. I hate it.
Yeah. I'm
Sorry, it's just I keep thinking, because we're talking about this, I keep thinking of Katy Perry's like unhinged staring at the camera while she's floating in space with the daisy in her hand because her daughter is called Daisy, and just like it's like the meme of like people with blue eyes when they look at you.
Like nothing we could like. It's so funny how quoting any of the things she said in around the speech, like in around the flight, doesn't seem that unreasonable, right? It seems like the kind of thing I would probably say if I'd gone up into space. But then, like, what you're really missing as a visual element is that stare. Like, that stare, I think, really elevates everything she's saying.
It is.
Yeah, it's like the thing of the like, are you aware of like the polling that happened during the like JFK Nixon debates?
Not particularly, I don't think.
So they polled. You weren't around, yeah. So like the polling was done, like obviously it was like, there was like, this is the day and age where like radio was still big. And like people who were polled who watched the debate like preferred JFK. People who like listened to it preferred Nixon, because like there was this whole like removal of the thing of like that JFK was so charismatic, but when you removed like the handsomeness of the man, people policy-wise were more like attracted to Richard Nixon's bullshit.
That, and also like JFK without the face, you just kind of realize he does stutter a lot. Like he's not like necessarily a super clear speaker. Like,
I mean,
he was just like slightly more handsome.
Yeah,
really. In the game of politics.
I was gonna say, like, he wasn't even handsome. It's just you compare him to like all the other.
I mean, compare him to fucking Richard Nixon. Yeah, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's an 8 at best. Dog.
Oh my god.
Hey, welcome to your weekly corner, Späti. It's me, Ciarán, and I'm joined by Uma.
Hello.
And Nick.
Yo.
I just want to say that we acknowledge that we are recording this on the territories of Semnones, Burgundians, Helvetia, Brevane tribes, who were the original Germanic and Slavic inhabitants of these lands that we currently call Berlin.
I was really hoping you would do that. Thank you. I love it. Even though you're not here, you're there.
Yeah, I don't know. What would I be shouting out to Dublin?
Celtic people. I don't know.
Pre-Indo-European brought late Stone Age.
The sick cunts
Yeah. Viking bones mostly. They were stealing land. That was kind of their whole shtick, though, to be fair. Anyway, that's where does this even come from? Because this
I
seems
was
like
gonna say there's no context to this whatsoever.
It's the Goethe Institute doing a land acknowledgement.
My God.
From like 3 years ago as well, I saw. The PDF is like from 3
Yeah,
years
it's
ago.
old, but it like has been like recirculated again.
Because
it's part of their like new futures program or some shit like that, and it's just
decolonizing the design of monuments.
You can't
of the future.
this isn't how it works. Like,
yeah, it's a real example of just like attempting to be good or progressive without really understanding why. And
it's exactly
right?
it's exactly how these politics function. Like there is no trying to. It's just like, you know, it's the goofy nature of just things like this, of just like, you know, yeah, okay, you do it at land acknowledgements, yeah, fine, in like, you know, settler colonial state things, whatever, sure, like I understand that a bit more, but it's like there's the indigenous Europeans is a fucking weird people who say that shit are just, I mean, freaks. Yeah,
it's just, I mean, even in settler, like say for example the US, which the whole thing was taken from native people. Land acknowledgement is nothing without reparations or without giving land back.
Yeah, without like any type of politic to follow.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a cop out. It's such a like, oh yeah, we recognize that this town was part of this tribe's territory, but
we're gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah, you stay there. Don't bother us. We're not gonna give you money for any resources for anything.
Yeah, we're gonna name our sports teams after slurs that we called you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I only ever really encounter this kind of stuff. I think something that feels vaguely similar is like going to like a reading group where it's all cis guys and we all still do our pronouns. Like that feels vaguely similar, but like I'm still kind of like I only ever encountered it in really low stakes scenarios where it's just like, okay, I'm in a room with a bunch of cis guys who are at least, you know, trying, and would be welcoming if such and such. Like when I see that in America or Australia and other places where this kind of shit would occur, it's just like, okay, I'm at least in a room with a bunch of people who are like trying.
I think
first of all, when it's an institution, when fucking like, I don't know, Kool-Aid does it on their Twitter, like that's fucked up.
Kool-Aid man, they them.
Kool-Aid man breaks through the wall. Oh no!
Or like a politician or something. You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah, my name's Marco Rubio. Pronouns.
No, I mean, yeah, but like
I won this election on stolen Shoshone land.
Yeah. But it kind of reminds me, this kind of like land acknowledgements just reminds me of, remember in 2020 when everybody just posted, well, not everybody, fucking dumbasses, posted a black picture, a square.
Yeah.
And just with the hashtag like Blackout Tuesday or something like that, absolutely no fucking like critical thinking of what this is for and why. People that had never talked about these issues before, which it's good that people are talking, but they weren't even talking. It was just like, it wasn't even like Black Lives Matter. It was just the fucking
or it was like the weird AI generated Rafa thing that was going around last year. Yeah, and it was all like, I didn't see you like, I mean, I'm not going to criticize anyone who doesn't post about Palestine. I don't do it myself because it just like, it's so fucking horrible and I see enough of it. But like, I saw people that like never voiced anything about it than posting just an AI generated image. It's like, if you're gonna at least post something, like there's, you know, plenty to choose from, you know, or like, you know, like post like from a thing. I got into
fights with people about
it. And you won all of them, I assume.
No, because I was very opinionated as usual on my story, and people were like,
"That's why you're here."
At least, yeah, exactly.
That's why we recruited you to the big leagues.
Exactly. And they were like, "Oh, at least people are talking about it," and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see them keep talking about it then.
And they actually
let's see in a couple days what you're posting on your story then. Or let's see you at a fucking protest maybe. And I understand. Okay, whatever. I hate that everything that you say, you have to be like, no, but I understand that there's this specific thing that might happen. This other, whatever.
No, the thing that I feel it really, like, the land acknowledgement thing of the Goethe Institute really just kind of feels like, and I think Ciarán was alluding to it, and I experienced this for the first time because, like, I now have like a corporate job, and it is like when you go into the corporate job and like they're just like in the like your Slack chat, there's like your pronouns thing,
Yeah.
and you're like I am like everything about the foundations of this are horrifying, but sure, yeah, right, fucking at least God, at least we're doing that. Like
I think for me a lot of this stuff kind of comes down to everything everything that's revolutionary or progressive or whatever, like that is like the aesthetic parts could always just be taken.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
this
is
Che Guevara t-shirts or whatever, right? Like as soon as it's aesthetic, it can just be totally just like taken, and it's taken away from the people who actually did follow up these words with actions. Like that's usually where all this stuff starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know about the Rafa fucking thing. That thing seemed cursed from the outset. But like stolen land acknowledgements, I've seen people say that who then go out marching on like Australia Day or whatever with like burning the Australian flag and bringing in the sick like Aboriginal flag that looks way cooler. Shit like that. But then at the same time, it's just like it is amazing how with the Goethe Institute particularly, when like corporate jobs do this kind of stuff, they expect you to give them such a fucking huge pat on the back.
Yeah, they're like, hey,
exactly.
we acknowledge that they're indigenous Europeans, which is the most cursed fucking combination of words. But then the Goethe Institute will like not. I mean, first off, the Goethe Institute is a instrument of just like German new imperial, neo-colonial fucking overreach. The shit that they do in the sense of like teaching German is very much to like, get people into the German workforce that they can like pay less money.
Yeah.
And
I'm right there, ready to sign up.
Yeah. What is the Goethe Institute's position on like the Herero genocide and shit like that? I would love to see it.
They don't have. I know you know this, but they don't have positions because like that's the whole point. Like they've taken a stolen land acknowledgement. They've taken a stolen land acknowledgement and just like slapped it on. It's all ritual for them. No substance. They're just copying and like expecting because they're just doing it. It's like you go to a religious order. It's like, why do you do this? And it's like, it's the way we've done it for thousands of years. Like, but why? And it's just like, well, you've just copied it. You don't realize that like the history of how European nations formed is not really stolen land. That's not really equivalent. The fact that like there were like ethnicities in parts of Europe that are no longer there or their names have changed or whatever is not quite the same as the Trail of Tears.
Oh, actually, I did find something.
Oh?
About the Herero, yeah.
Oh, the Institute's
okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna read through it, but
is it like vocab I can learn to describe it?
No, it's just like
a phrase book.
It's just these things about like learning from our past and this and that blah blah. Germany, but like when was this dated?
I was gonna say it was posted last year.
2016. Okay, so this is like
it's before the stolen land. Okay.
Yeah, much before the stolen land acknowledgement. No, because I think I remember actually, I had to like correct myself. I think I do remember like the Goethe Institute having things about that, but still, like it's a bit wonky.
That's the correct thing for Germany. Like
that's yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind the Goethe Institute as an institution. Like, of course, like every country has a thing of this of like, hey, learn our language, whatever. Like it isn't like the worst arbiter for that. If like Germany's actually going to have the attitude of them like learning from its past thing, if the Goethe Institute was like legitimate about it, it wouldn't be that weird. but then like doing this like weird kind of like quasi like white supremacist version of it. But then also like I don't know, it's creepy because this is, I mean, at the end of the day, this is shit that then like indigenous Europeans is shit that like Nazis say.
Yeah. And well, it's kind of the like to go like, okay, stolen land acknowledgement stuff started with like activists in the States who wanted to make space or were actively trying to like do like pro-indigenous rights stuff. Then it was copied by like an American-based company like Mountain Dew or whatever the fuck, and they posted that on their Twitter. And it's like, great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then like, okay, sure, that makes sense. But the fact that the Goethe Institute has then copied that is kind of like if Mountain Dew went and said like, we acknowledge the history of the Herero genocide. I was like, why? You're Mountain Dew.
It's yeah, exactly. It just, as I said, it just feels like the black square thing because it's like, oh shit, everyone's doing it. It's a thing now. We need to, because we're so progressive and cool and whatever. We need to do it as well. But
copying.
But then our quote unquote indigenous people is some fucking tribe at some point in European history, which wasn't even whatever.
Copying this shit without thinking. Like, you actually do see this a lot in Europe where they kind of like take the lead on like diversity in the workforce based on like American stuff. And then it's just like, you'll have this stuff about like, you know, being nice to black people, gay people, etc. All very basic, normal shit that should happen every day. And like, that will be a German company. I was like, do you want to talk about like, I don't know, Roma or
the way you treat
Turkish
Polish
Germans.
people or Turkish people or no, exactly.
Like,
it's a meme that Americans do of like Europeans with black people, and it's just like hippies, like, oh, love everybody, and then like Europeans with Roma people, and it's Hitler.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Europeans are very racist with black people.
Yeah. And it's the thing too that then gets even like funkier with Europe, because unlike the United States that then just kind of is like this one giant like, you know, monstrosity of evil that does evil everywhere else, you know, and is like, you know, rightfully criticized a lot of the times. Like the EU allows also for like that, like exactly like the like Roma specific one thing too of like, I think everyone for like, I was talking with a friend recently about Hungary, you know, like this country that we talk about a lot. And it's like everyone forgets that then that like when everyone's like, oh, Hungary passed this insane law, it's like, yeah, Germany made them do it. You know, like the slave law from a few years ago. Remember that whole thing?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Go back into the, you know, your memories of, we
won't pay you for your overtime until 2 years later.
Yeah. That was like put in like Germany, like kind of was like, hey, there's so much manufacturing in this country. We need to do something about it. Hungary like responded like, hey, here's this chaos law that we have. Or like
the chaos law.
Yeah. Or like the attitudes of then like a near like slave workforce that Hungary has, like of like Roma populations that they've just like put into communities and shit, is like also then done like indirectly or directly to just like benefit German companies that are there too. You know, it's like Germany is like so secretly evil and all this shit that it's like you need to do so much more than just like a fucking like,
I think it's a classic
acknowledgement.
Yeah, it's like that is always a classic of like the EU will be acknowledged when convenient and it will not be acknowledged when inconvenient.
Yeah,
of just like, no, that's Hungary, that's another country. But it's like, but it's like they're all making seatbelts for VWs. Don't worry about it.
Since we're you know rolling a little loose on this one, did you guys see the report from the Russian like security service of like the fear of the threat of Eurofascism? And like why the United States and Russia need to have like a better relationship, and then it's just the picture is of Ursula von der Leyen just like put into a swastika.
I mean, yeah, but for different reasons.
I don't like when you say it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like when you get cornered at a pub with a guy that you like, who's just like very intense, even though you like 100% agree with what they're saying, it's just like I just feel very uncomfortable right now. I don't want to be here. It's just like,
dude,
no, you don't understand America and Vietnam. I was like, yeah, totally with you, man. But I'm just here to have some drinks.
You're making us all look bad, please.
Yeah, that's when you encounter like I get that vibe always whenever I encounter like a German leftist who's like over the age of 60. Like,
oh yeah,
they have that vibe. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, this and that," and you're like, "Yeah, dude. Like, can you leave me alone?" Like,
you gotta.
Can you let go my arm, please?
Yeah, for real. Like, it is always a vibe like that.
You like slip out of your jacket just to get away.
Yeah.
It's I have not seen that report. I find that fascinating.
I didn't read it. I don't need to read it. I can already tell you what that is. I can already tell you what it says in it without even having to look at a word of it. But the visual of Ursula von der Leyen just like morphed into a swastika was, you know what? Russia bad, but you know what? A broken clock right twice a day. It's like when the EU, the UN thing where they're like, we're going to reject Baerbock for her Nazi sympathies to her grandfather or whatever. It's like, you're not wrong.
That was a very big fucking oopsie on Anna Baerbock's fucking behalf. Like, Jesus Christ,
I couldn't contain myself. Yeah, it's like I feel just like feeling yourself a little too much in the moment of like.
I am curious of the wording of this document. I'm like, okay, are you going to talk about like, okay, like, you know, the National Front or like La Lega or whatever, like a bunch of parties you've probably been like slipping.
No. They're talking about like this is that's the thing that's just so funny with it is that you can clearly just tell that they're talking about just like European armament as than like European fascism, which is like fine. Fair. I think that then that you can like kind of give the argumentation that then it's like, well, no, this is pretty much like a feature of liberalism too, no? And you don't need to do like the leftist knee-jerk reaction of that, then it's like liberalism is always equal to fascism. It's like, well, like, whatever. Like, I would say that the positions of the European Union and the positions of Lega are different, you know? Like, they're not necessarily one and the same. They do benefit each other. You know, like the discussion that we've had about like Germany all the time is like, yeah, it's like the CDU and the SPD fascist parties. No. Do they like, you know, bend the knee to the right a lot of the times and have like fascist tendencies? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's this I do dislike the whole like calling everything fascism a like actual thing because it's just like, well,
it's
no, we have these words and they mean things and we should be able to describe the differences between them. Like, and then at the same time, they always get like people who are like that will always just be like, oh, you're not left wing enough. It's like, at no point did I say I liked liberalism. Liberalism is bad, but for a bunch of different reasons.
Boy, howdy, to even surprise you, I'm a really bad leftist. Like, don't even like, yeah, that's not left wing of sure, fine, whatever. Like, you're probably right.
Like, I don't know. I think kind of like the militarism of Europe is probably trying to be like America in the 50s, which was like bad, but not fascism.
No, yeah. Like that's absolutely there's obviously like very much Europe trying to emulate American version of liberalism this is what it looks like. I just think that the European mind is just like big military equals automatically fascism. And it's like
40 years we're going to have like a Slovenian Rage Against the Machine talking about the European military industrial complex.
Yeah,
and they're gonna whip.
I hope so. But yeah, I mean, it is also just like there is this like general like leftist aversion to like anything that then is like things like that, which is like something that then I definitely would disagree with. Like. You know, I don't want anyone to come at me for being like, oh, Nick's a fascist. But it's like, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of a country, like even like a socialist country having a military, you know, like, especially in the sense of if like you have it in the sense of like, say, China or the Soviet Union or Vietnam or any of these countries like that, where it's like the threat of outward capitalist forces are there. It's like you're an idiot if you like come at this with like a Kantian like, oh, you know, we just have to like be peaceful, dog. It's like, so you're like chill with like armed revolution, but then if that manifests itself into a state with the military, then that's like you're like blind. Like that makes no fucking sense. So, you know, the left be silly sometimes.
Anyway,
and not everything is fascism.
Well, sorry, Nick. Unfortunately, I got this new report from the Russian.
I'm
Foreign
kicked off the
Service.
show.
Yeah, they've put you into a swastika, Nick. I'm sorry, it's over. The
Damn
Russians
it.
have done it again.
You know what? It was bound to happen, right?
It does remind me of the whole thing. Going back again, just reminds me of the whole meme of like, oh, sorry, Europe, it's too late. I have already depicted you as a swastika and have depicted myself as the Chad freedom-loving military or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's politics.
It's politics. I drew you as a swastika. It's over. Argument won. Debate over. God, yeah. This is what a time to be alive. What do we got to talk about today? What big news do we have?
I mean,
Shit.
bad
Yeah.
or worse.
Didn't you have an article of Zuckerberg?
Oh, I can bring that up briefly because it's pretty decent report, exclusive report by Dagens Nyheter. Try my best there. Perfect. DN.se, Swedish newspaper, talking about the fact that Zuckerberg basically has stationed his like super yacht up in a Norwegian fjord very close to the Swedish border, because it's that part where like Norway gets super thin or whatever.
And he's amassing an army of 100,000 to invade Sweden.
And has been just trying to bribe a bunch of Sami villages to like ski and holiday up there, but like in the most fucked way possible, which is like, I cannot ski down the slope unless I am surrounded at all times by like 4 active helicopters watching me go down the slopes or whatever.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah, like the reason he has to try and bribe all these villages is because of things like noise pollution. I've brought like a small like flotilla with me of like staff and assistants. So like he's basically set up like a small music festival in their town without planning permission. So yeah, and then like what happened was the Sami villages were just like, we're just gonna go to the press. Actually, I think that's what we're gonna do. That's crazy.
Fair enough.
You want to pay us not to tell? What do we do? I think we should tell. And it's like, oh yeah, probably. And I think this article has timed perfectly with the new novel that came out that I do want to read. It's not really a novel. Careless People, which is like someone fairly senior in Facebook just broke all of her NDAs and said like all the fucked up shit that was happening in there, including like, here's all the ways they basically caused the Rohingya genocide. Here's all the shit they did nothing to stop. Like they didn't have an ability to translate like Myanmarese or whatever. Like
this person is still alive?
Yeah, she's still going. She's in like court over it, and they're trying to like get rid of the book as soon as possible. The publishers went to a huge fucking effort because they had to pitch the book to a bunch of like resellers and stuff without telling them what the book was at all. They like, including like Tesco and shit in the UK, where just like they got them to stock the book, being like, what is the book? It was like, we can't tell you, but it's going to be a big deal. Please stock it. Which is nuts, and not how the publishing industry works anymore. They usually do like months and months of hype before it gets released or whatever. So yeah. Also, listen to Trash Future. They did a whole episode about this book, but like one fun detail that I really enjoyed is that Mark Zuckerberg tried to get Xi Jinping to name his child.
Wait, what?
Just like he tried like while sitting with Xi Jinping, like constantly trying to lobby like the Chinese government to like let Facebook into China, basically. And at one of those meetings, while his like wife was pregnant with his son, he asked Xi Jinping like, "Can you name my son?" And Xi Jinping just went, "No."
You know what?
Because she's Chinese, right? No.
Yeah, I think that might have been like the
So he was like, she's,
Yo, crazy.
I don't know
Xi,
any Chinese
you're-
names.
yeah.
You must know loads.
Oh my god, that's so
Yo,
bad.
Xi, it's so crazy. My wife's Chinese, and like she would love it if you named our kid.
That's insane.
I do. You know
Yeah.
what? Critical support as of late to well, not really, because there was also then the sense of that Chinese fighters were found in Ukraine or whatever. So bad China there, but good China in not naming Mark Zuckerberg's kid.
My son. Or like, do the kind of like fucked up tattoo parlor thing of like people getting Chinese characters tattooed on them, and it just means like
Come.
yeah, just
Or-
like just tell him this word.
Sweet and
Yeah.
sour chicken.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool tattoo though. If someone had sweet and sour chicken on them, I would respect that.
I might write that in just like Times New Roman on my back.
Yeah.
Like, in English. I know I'm still thinking that the tattoo I want to get at the moment is like Rayman with a gun.
As if you will ever get a tattoo.
As if you'll ever
I'll
get a tattoo.
right
Yeah.
on my ass.
I had
Rayman with a gun.
because I also had this realization the other day of like I'm getting hotter. Great, what would make me even like hotter quicker is if I just got a bunch of tattoos. So yeah,
Oh,
but you know what's
true.
never
Neither of you have tattoos.
no
right?
tattoos. Yeah, but I thought you meant true,
Virgin.
Nick. You would look so hot with tattoos.
I mean,
Good point, Nick.
yeah, you would. I mean,
I know, right? The thing that's so
the
weird too is it
realization.
like it like very much fits my aesthetic, but I just like never have like been interested. And so now I'm trying to like speed run in my head of like, should I get tattoos? I don't know. I'm 32
Does
years
Julia
old.
have tattoos?
No, you're the only one on the
What
show.
the fuck? I'm
Yeah.
the youngest and I have tattoos. What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the cool kid. We're a
You're
bunch
the
of
cool
old
kid. Yeah,
losers.
I want all my tattoos so I can be as cool as Uma and impress her. That's it. Impress my Zoomer friends of like, yeah, it does say, Philly cheesesteak and Chinese on my back.
Oh, I'll be
Yeah.
cool as fuck though.
All right.
Rayman with a gun.
Underneath it
is-
says Sonic the Hedgehog in Chinese. Harry Potter.
It says
No, not
pregnant
Harry
Sonic.
Potter.
Yeah.
Pregnant Sonic in Chinese.
Yeah.
Rayman
So
with a
sound
hang on.
off our listeners if our listeners probably don't even know what the fuck I look like half the time. If I should just dive headfirst in it and just get a bunch of tattoos and deal with my because I don't know. Yeah. I need an expensive hobby, as if I don't already have enough.
It's too. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say it's too. No, stop, Karen. I don't want to look at this.
It's Rayman with a gun. I would get it tattooed on my like ass or something, or like my thigh. It'd be like classy.
Classy on the thigh. It's,
Yeah.
Rayman with
That's
a gun.
that's less classy than on the butt.
Tramp stamp Rayman with a gun.
Please, Karen, I will pay you $1 billion.
You don't have that money.
Nick,
Who are
you know
you?
me. No,
You
of course
who
I
are you,
don't.
My
Mark
secret.
Zuckerberg, trying to bribe Ciarán into?
I will pay you 2 pints.
Okay, GYROVISION 2026 for fundraising for Palestine. Live, I tattoo Rayman with a gun just
That-
above my ass.
That'd be the funniest thing. Oh my god.
That would-
I
yeah.
don't think your wife would be very thrilled with that though.
The only way I can get away with this is it's for charity. Like, you
No,
can't
babe,
get
it's
mad.
fine.
It's
You
for
can't get
charity.
mad.
You're like, you're a horrible person if
Yeah,
you
you're-
get mad.
What are you, a Zionist?
Yeah, maybe actually this might backfire on me.
Yep.
Anyway,
Speaking of horrible people.
yes, Uma. Good
thanks,
job.
Not a
I'm the
horrible person. No, take that back.
No, I
Ciarán.
was shouting out Uma for a wonderful podcast transition.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Speaking of transition,
Oh my god.
there you
Jesus
go.
Christ.
there we go.
I
That's
feel
why we get paid
delirious.
the big bucks.
yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling. I want her
Yeah.
dead.
Oh my god, so badly.
Yeah, why can't can we shoot J.K. Rowling up in a rocket, but it just doesn't come back?
Can she see space with Katy Perry?
Yeah.
No, Katy Perry deserves to live. She's
Yeah,
not-
Unfortunately, I
she's
agree. Yeah, like as annoying as she is, I don't hate her that much.
She's
where
just
it's like,
cringe. It's
Yeah.
not even like
Mm,
yeah.
yeah. I feel like the longer we keep her alive, the more likely she is to tell us weird things.
I
about
think
Russell
that
Brand,
we
which
should
I want to know about.
shoot J.K. Rowling up in a rocket. And I know that like Ireland has some SAM sites like still hidden somewhere, and shoot the rocket off from. I mean, you can't do it. It wouldn't work. But I guess it doesn't matter because the objective is for her to not make it to space. Ireland, if you're listening, if this happens, you know what to do.
Or just a cannon. Just put her in a cannon. Like this.
No, but then that's like whimsical, and then she'll like be like a circus. Not
if it's like very high. Then she'll just be a blob on the floor.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems whimsical until it like happens outside of a cartoon. Just being like put in a cannon.
Yeah,
and then it's actually actually like some like dark fantasy Game of Thrones shit. This is actually
like that is like absolutely a real thing that then has happened. 100%.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway,
like how do you know how like the Nazis used to execute like Russian women snipers?
I don't think I want to know.
Oh. Well, because they were like so like brute, like they were like so like the Nazis were so like afraid of them and shit that then in order to like make an example to them, they would like hit them at point blank with like an anti-tank rifle or something like that. So yeah. Sorry, I just throw a bit of horrible history in there for you.
I mean, we are gonna talk about something horrible. Anyway.
Yeah,
we are kind of just like trying to avoid this conversation, aren't we? Because it's upsetting.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is that the billionaires get competitive with each other about who they can send to space, and I think, hey Elon, you've got your favorite kind of like right wing influencers, Cat Turd 2,
Phidias.
Yeah, Phidias, J.K. Rowling, they can go into SpaceX rocket into space, and then they can land. We're sure nothing will go wrong, as it usually does with a SpaceX rocket. It'll be grand.
Yeah,
just give it a whirl.
Do I want Phidias to go to space though?
I think also like Katy Perry, I don't think he deserves to die.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
I am trying to get to space for free.
This is how we get around the illegality of saying violent threats against the named people, right? Because we can't do that. That's something we can get in a lot of trouble for. However, what we could say is we could just list everyone we think deserves to live, and you can just figure out who we didn't say.
Phidias does not deserve to die. Actually, for real.
Yeah. My God. The
horrible topic is that the UK Supreme Court ruled on Wednesday that the legal definition of a woman excludes trans women because they say that the legal definition is only based in your biological sex / gender, right?
Yeah.
Again, makes absolutely no sense because this was actually brought to court by gender critical group called for Women Scotland as well. Like, what is it?
Oh yeah.
What's going on up there?
No, unfortunately when it comes to like, there's a lot of reasons Scottish people are different from English people, but like the turf stuff, that's Britain wide, baby.
Yeah. Also, doesn't J.K. Rowling also live in? I mean, she's not Scottish, but she lives up there in like a castle or something.
Yeah. I also I'm not a huge one for saying she is, I think, English, but she's lived like vast majority of her life in Scotland, like kind of thing. Like, there are nice people in Scotland who are like that, like born in England, but like live there their whole lives, and I think they have the right to call themselves Scottish. She's still just a piece of shit though.
I know.
Wherever you put her in the world.
Why couldn't that fucking 12th publisher just have rejected that fucking book? Like, one thing could have changed in history.
Sorry, what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying that's where the connection comes from with her. Like, because
absolutely.
For Women Scotland received £70,000 from J.K. Rowling for them to take this, because they actually took this to the Scottish courts, And the Scottish courts were like, no, sex is not limited to biology, especially because the whole point of this is that once you go through as a trans person, as a trans woman and man, but this is like specifically aimed at women. Once you go through all surgeries, you've been taking hormones for years, like you've basically completed your transition, you get this like gender recognition certificate, which is what allows you to legally be classified as a woman, right? So that's what these people were upset about, this piece of paper, right? Because they said that, literally their thing is that you can't change sex with the stroke of a pen with this fucking certificate, whatever.
That's how easy it is to get all this stuff in the UK, famously. It's just someone signing something. It's definitely not like a bureaucratic nightmare designed to punish people the entire process.
That's the thing. They think that it's like the easiest thing ever, that just anybody can fucking go up to a police station or wherever you go to get these things and say, I'm a woman, and sign that, and you have this certificate and now you're a woman, and that is not how it works. But that is how every TERF in the world think that, because when the laws changed in Spain to be a bit more like trans friendly, my God, all the TERFs were like fucking going crazy about it, when still trans people have to go through so many tests and bureaucracy and shit like that proves that they are truly, truly trans, that they're not, lying or whatever. But yeah, so she donated like 70 fucking thousand pounds about this. And Scotland said, no, it's, sex is not limited to biology. So they were like, okay, we're going to take it to the UK Supreme Court, which is five old ass fucking judges that have retained that position forever. And they said this, that a woman is only a biological woman, which again makes no sense, because what does that mean? If it means that public organizations or places, or like the NHS gyms, like public spaces, now have the right to discriminate against trans women or trans men, but specifically trans women, because if there's like a same-sex space, because they can now legally say, no, I don't care that you have this certificate, I don't care that you've been taking hormones since you were like fucking 10 years old, you are still a man because you were born a man. So they can legally be discriminated against. But that also means then, okay, so does that mean that trans men can go into women's locker rooms and women's bathrooms? Because trans men were born women, so they're quote unquote biologically women. So does that mean that they're women?
It's a classic thing with the British sickness, which is that trans men basically never factor into the conversation, or like if they ever do, they're to like try and defend against that criticism of like, this seems particularly targeted against trans women, and they'll learn 2 or 3 things about trans men and bring that up and show it off so they can go back to hating trans women. It's God, it's fucking upsetting.
It's just also, sorry, it's just so fucking stupid, because in the ruling itself, the judge was saying that, a woman is a woman, where a biological woman is biological sex. But we cancel against reading this judgment as a triumph of one or more groups in our society at the expense of another. It is not, he added. However, outside, you have these fucking terrorist Women for Scotland, whatever they're called, cheering with champagne and flowers because they won over trans people, because they're celebrating taking the legal rights of trans people away. And you're covering your ass. It's like the fucking land acknowledgement, like you're kind of like covering your ass, tapping yourself on the back, saying like, no, but that doesn't mean you can discriminate against trans people, but you're giving them the legal a legal way to discriminate against legal trans people.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense whatsoever.
It's like, so this is something that I think, I don't know, it's okay. Oof. The thing that is like, yeah, it's maddening. Like, okay, it was forever thus. Like, this is just the path that the UK has been down on for a while. People have tried to deny that J.K. Rowling was like transphobic or whatever other like major influencers like Labour backbenchers or whatever, or like prominent figures within the UK's media atmosphere or whatever were transphobic, and that I think that is a debate that can be like thrown away as like childish at best, destructive at worst. There's also just like everyone has known this about the UK for a while. I think the thing that will always like stick with me as a piece of information is like the Guardian US, because there's like a US branch of the Guardian, writing an open letter like on their own editorial page against the Guardian UK Home Office for like, your transphobia is damaging our reputation in the US market.
Wow.
Please cop the fuck on. And that's, the Guardian is the biggest quote unquote progressive paper in the UK. If you want a left wing paper, quote unquote, that's available in every newsstand in the UK, it's only the Guardian. There might be another I'm not entirely sure about, but like
the more mainstream one,
on a nationally, like genuinely nationally syndicated level, no. I mean, what you have like all of the smaller left-wing papers are either like fully digital in the UK now or like don't exist anymore.
Special order might be in like a handful of places, that kind of shit. Yeah.
It's the same thing too in Germany as well. I mean, this isn't just a phenomenon in the UK. No, this is everywhere.
No.
Then like left-wing publications aren't on the shelves anymore.
Yeah. And then I guess
shit's too expensive.
It's great. That's why we're this podcast, €5 a month. But and then it's just like something that I think I have encountered a lot recently coming back to Ireland, because I feel like this shit has been creeping in the background in Ireland for a bit, because Ireland gets a lot of like media influence from the UK. I think a lot of like calculated NGO types like this Women for Scotland kind of thing. I think these kind of groups in the UK view Ireland as like their stomping ground, for better or for worse, and will definitely plan actions in there. People have also made this very good criticism of things like marriage equality and repeal that happened in Ireland, of those campaigns kind of like silencing trans voices, or centering trans voices for a bit and then dropping them immediately once these issues actually passed. And like, if Ireland feels like it's fertile ground, one of the things that I do find very interesting, because I think Ireland, your well-meaning kind of like apolitical liberal, does fully acknowledge that like the shit happening in the UK is bad. The shit that's happening in the US against trans people is fucking bad. One of the things that I have that I don't think a lot of people understand is that J.K. Rowling was directly funding this. Like J.K. Rowling being cancelled is not the same as like Aziz Ansari, where like he did a bad thing or said some shitty bad stuff, but like J.K. Rowling has been materially funding this event, like this movement. It probably would not fucking exist, at least not to the extent that it does, without her financial backing.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the resources to have taken this to the UK Supreme Court, for sure. Like, she literally gave them the option to do that.
Yeah, and the thing that I think is just so interesting, especially with like someone like, I mean, yeah, with the like, Turf Island being its kind of own entity, but this inability of these people themselves to not understand that they're along like, this greater, trend of homophobia in like the West. You know, the idea that then that like people like J.K. Rowling or like TERFs think of just like, oh no, this is only like it's only about trans people, you know, which is already horrible enough to then begin with. But that it isn't like also encompassing this like new view of perversion that then I think a lot of people are having like real like, you know, awakened or whatever within like the general attitudes of the West of like it isn't just like a soul issue thing, you know. It isn't just like the, you know, because it's like the thing in the United States where like, you know, trans activists always said like, you know, hey, like this is like happening to us first.
Canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, and it really is the sense of like, you know, you're seeing then like a lot of like in the US, a lot of the attempted rollbacks on like, you know, just general LGBT rights, which like the UK is like not quite there yet, or like on like a Hungary level sort of thing where it's just like the right has, you know, where it's like it pretends that it's this isolated thing about, oh no, we just want to protect women and protect children, which are fucking weird things to be saying. With just in general, because it is, I mean, like the it is the thing that then should always kind of like give the knee-jerk reaction of like, if that's something that then kind of someone comes to immediately introduces their politics with, it's like, you know, that they're sketchy. But yeah, this kind of like general oh no, don't worry, like you're like you know, it's like this is, yeah, like you said, like a canary in the coal mine for like other types of like, you know, social groups possibly then also getting their, you know, rights or whatever, you know, that have been like recently granted to them also just like possibly taken back, you know.
I think the best evidence for that is probably the fact that if you look at things exclusively through a trans lens of like looking at trans people and how they've been targeted across like broadly, let's say the West, then you would probably not see the same stuff. The US and the UK has gone a lot further than, say, Denmark or Germany. But we know Germany is targeting people right now for a different reason. And it's like, well, if we kind of just go at like historically, you know, othered, disadvantaged groups, then it starts to look the same across the board. Like Denmark has been incredibly violent towards refugees, asylum seekers, and just anyone who's just could possibly be one of them, even if they are like Danish or like have some sort of permanent residency or whatever. But Denmark also still allows like it's still like one of the best places in Europe for like trans couples to elope. Basically, like Copenhagen's a huge like the Las Vegas of Europe, basically. So like the shit's never equal.
Yeah.
The shit is never like universally it's gonna happen here, but like
no, for sure. But I think that then like the discourse, at least in the US and the UK, like finds itself to be quite similar sometimes. I mean, there is like a lot more like linguistic transfer between the two countries. And like it is something that then like I've found very alarming and genuinely like oddly surprising of just like how quickly in the US like the homophobia stuff followed then in suit with like the you know, which I mean it's not surprising I guess, but it was just like it was kind of one of those things that then I thought was like, oh, like, you know, I thought this was like already kind of like more or less decided upon. It was like the religious right that was kind of against gay marriage, but now it's like a general like cultural phenomenon in the right of like, you know, people just being homophobic again.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you can definitely notice there is no matter how you know, easily and braggadociously these people post photos of themselves on the side of yachts smoking a cigar with champagne or whatever, they're not happy. And this is not enough for them.
Yeah,
something
like,
is coming next.
If I had more money than God, you know what I would not be doing? I would not be caring about like, you know.
You would never hear from me ever
you would
again.
never. I'd
be gone.
Right? It just, oh my
I would
God,
be
this-
I'd be in
skiing.
space listening to Katy Perry.
to ET. It's just so the picture that she posted, like what Ciarán was referencing, it's a fucking selfie of J.K. Rowling in her yacht. Yeah, like smoking as it's just like Andrew Tate.
It's Andrew Tate shit.
It's literally Andrew Tate shit. Like him with a fucking pizza box that got him arrested or whatever. I wish that got her arrested for whatever.
I wish that story was true, but it unfortunately wasn't.
God.
I still want to eat a Jerry's pizza though.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah, it's just so fucking disgusting. What did you say in the caption? Like, it's a win for women's rights or something.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I was yelling about this. I know. I love it. That's what we were saying earlier. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Like, this bitch is behind everything. This fucking piece of shit. Sorry, I'm like yelling into the mic, but like, I hate her so much, and it's so upsetting that people are so like, oh, but Harry Potter, fuck Harry Potter. Like,
it's not good. It's not that good.
I grew up with
It's a children's
Harry Potter.
book, for fuck's sake.
I know, and I grew up. I was like smack in the middle. Like I was, the perfect audience for Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter, but like there is literally no ethical consumption of anything. Fucking the HBO thing. Coming
the
up
series,
now. The series, and you have all these very, very famous, very rich, very respected actors
John
choosing.
Lithgow.
Yeah, who was amazing in Conclave, but like just fucking, accepting roles in this bullshit. It's just like you are complicit. You are complicit in all of this because this is giving her more money to give to these fucking women in Scotland and take away more rights because, as you said, she's not happy. They're not happy. They will find something different next. Maybe they will learn about trans men existing and they will go for trans men now, Like it's
Or they'll figure out that like trans people have support networks that allowed them to transition back in periods of when things were more hostile before. But like we know she's not happy because the UK has always been a particularly hostile place to trans people, and she wasn't happy then.
Yeah.
Why does this change anything?
Exactly.
So I just, why did she post an Andrew Tate picture? Like what? Like I've never imagined once in my life
unhappy.
This woman with a cigar in her mouth. Yeah, she's not.
She's
happy.
Unhappy,
and she has mold in her brain. That's
she has the brain worm that fucking RFK Jr. had.
I live in this side of the world. It's just damp here, all right? The mold, we love the mold. I am mold. I have become mold.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been disputed. Like the people found the actual wallpaper at her house and it's not mold, but I choose to believe that.
Yeah.
But also, why do you have wallpaper that looks like mold? You're rich. Sort that shit out.
Why do you have wallpaper? Like, don't rich people, I don't know, like I would have, never mind. All I know is that then we need to treat the Harry Potter series the way that then people treat anything that Varg has made.
Yeah.
So the way that you go about it is that you just do the like you want to listen to Burzum, fine, all right. I'm not going to judge you there. Yes, Varg has some good music here and there. Find a bootleg that he gets no money for. Bootleg Harry Potter. If you need to read these dumb books so bad, then I don't know, buy it off of wish.com or something like that. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Or I don't know, bring LimeWire back.
I mean, at this point, it's been so many years that everything is free online. So if
you're
so desperate to consume it, but again,
do you want a Harry Potter t-shirt? Make it your find a sketchy ass website that'll just print it for you.
But also, fucking nerd. Sorry, if you walk around with
these
a
people
Harry Potter
exist.
t-shirt.
But it is a, I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum, even if it is something I don't really like and care about. It's like whatever.
No, I will.
No, I mean something like Harry Potter is too fucking I mean, you're right. I think in the point of it's we've been so long into it of J.K. Rowling sucks, but it's I mean, kids book or not, I know a lot of people who was a defining thing of their childhood. It is kind of it does suck to have that ripped away from you and be
yeah, but that's exactly what same. It was a defining thing. It's what made me wanna read
become
more and learn English. Yeah, become a magician. Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sorry, at some point, let go. You know, it sucks. It really
No,
does
for
suck.
sure.
Like,
Yeah, like I agree. It is for children. You know, it is.
I mean, from my perspective, I don't actually think the children's thing is necessarily relevant. As a purveyor of culture myself, who enjoys many media directed at 4-year-olds,
as the father of a daughter,
like I'd be playing Pokemon even if my daughter wasn't beside me.
I mean, to be fair, I would watch Bluey.
Yeah, it's a solid show until someone says something problematic. It's a solid show. But I think the thing that I find very interesting about like the merch stuff in particular, like wearing a Harry Potter t-shirt, because that was mentioned, is just like at a certain point, you have to know this is sending a signal, right?
Yeah, it's like if you wear a Burzum shirt.
If you wear a it's just like if you enjoy the sensible thing of like if you enjoyed the Harry Potter novels, it's always mentioning it in regrettably, I enjoyed the Harry Potter novels.
Yeah.
It's not like, man, I love this. Time to wear a t-shirt and walk around the metropolitan area I live in and let everyone know I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
no, agreed.
I was very harsh earlier. I will not yell at you if you're like going through a rough time and Harry Potter 5 is your comfort movie and like, you know, you just watch it because you're not doing okay. Fine. But like watching the new HBO thing, buying like the new things, specifically buying the new Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, it's like a few years old, but you know, all these
that upset
things,
me to find out that was like one of the best selling games of that year.
I'm so annoyed. And I wish I could play that game so badly because it looks actually so good, but I have morals and ethics and I'm not going to fucking buy it, you know? I don't want the fucking snake to get more money.
I think I like the Hogwarts Legacy one, if I'm not mistaken. I think I remember seeing a video of like Danny Brown, the rapper, saying he wouldn't play it for that reason, and he was very sad about it, which was like good.
There
King.
you go. Yeah.
Like I did not know that. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I love when my two different worlds of internet stuff that I pay attention to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was just like, all right.
Yeah, and I think like Hassan, Piker, whatever his name is, he did play, and like there was a whole backlash from people saying, "Hey, you know, like this is," or like I don't know if it was him specifically, but
no, I think it was.
Yeah, it was, right.
Some big Twitch streamers I know have like stopped because of it as well. Like have been like they played it because they were just kind of like apolitical video game people. It was like, oh, this is the new hot game. I'm gonna, because I always play the new hot game.
Yeah.
And then like people in the chat was like, don't do this, and they're like, oh, cool, I've learned, and I'm gonna stop now, and I'm gonna play the next new hot game, fucking Super Mario.
Yeah. But
kills J.K. Rowling.
As you, I wish. Oh my god.
Super Mario with a gun.
Yeah.
Mario Rayman with a gun.
But it's what you were saying right now. Harry Potter is it's her work. It's her. So going around wearing a fucking Harry Potter t-shirt or sweater or like whatever is a statement. Like
I know.
There's absolutely no way that as an adult, because I'm assuming you're an adult wearing this. If you're a child, I'm not gonna fucking.
Hey, shout out to our 8-year-old listeners.
There's no way that as an adult you don't know what this woman is doing and saying. It's been years at this point. Years and years
but
of
millennials
her,
are much better at like compartmentalizing this shit and pretending that it's like, oh no, I can do this, and you know.
I'd be very funny if there was a person who really wanted to wear like a t-shirt dedicated to the other novels that she wrote.
The fucking one that she had to say was her, so people would buy it because it was so bad.
Like, that would be like wearing the t-shirt for one of like Varg's other acts, like one of the like more less mainstream ones or whatever.
Well, there's Burzum and Mayhem. Yeah, I mean, like you're kind of like two baller. I mean, I hate to say it, but like two very good black metal projects. Like it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that. I mean, yeah, that's like that. I hate to harp on that, but that is like kind of like the easiest comparison of just like. Of like, I like this band. Oh no, they're Nazis. What do I do about this? Or oh no, they're racist. It's like,
well, even actually, I'd actually throw a wrench into that a little bit, because correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a huge Varg understander, Varg versteher. But like, he's not making a shit ton of money and then funneling into groups that have the same views as him. He's just a guy who has really fucked up views and like murdered a person.
I mean, yeah, like I think you're right of that. Then it's like, you know, you're not making a lot of money in that genre anyway. And that's like the thing too, is I remember there was this like thing of like, you know, when like Burzum shirts were like in style and whatnot, and people just like didn't know what they were, and people had to be like, well, if you want to like, which I didn't understand this kind of to begin with, because it's like, yeah, like it always like you're saying with like J.K. Rowling, is that then it's like anything now is then like kind of always associated with the thing that she does with that. So it's kind of the sense of like to like the like next extreme degree of that. If it's like you are wearing the merch of a literal Nazi band, but you think that it's like fashionable, so people are like, just get a bootleg version. But at the end of the day, it's like, again, you're right. It still shows the same sign of, are you a Nazi?
Yeah. And like it sends the side even more, because I'm going to go out on a limb without any like polling information. I'd like to think more people know this about J.K. Rowling than know what Burzum is.
No, yeah. Oh, no, 100%.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So yeah.
You would know the like, if I showed you the like design of shirt, you would know what I'm thinking. It weirdly became something that was like so much in the like mainstream of like celebrities. I mean, fucking Kanye West wore a Burzum shirt, but Kanye West wore a Burzum shirt because
he's a Nazi.
Varg is a Nazi.
This was again sending a signal. Man, all right, so I think that's all we can really say on this topic, because
I mean, I could yell about this for hours, but
it's all we can legally say about this topic.
Beep, beep, beep.
So, hey, the following people deserve to live. Just like fade out of me listing a bunch of just names from the phone book. All right, so end of the episode. All there is to say is, hey, 18th of May, Berlin, baby, greatest city in the world. Asterisk pending.
Yeah.
You know, markets, global politics, that might change. I don't know. Who's going to replace it? I don't fucking know. Anyway, come to Lark Berlin at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. for GYROVISION 5, GYROVISION V, where we will be dressing up real good, listening to music, drinking, dancing, not giving any money to the following people: the European Broadcasting Union, J.K. Rowling, Varg. We guarantee none of this money will go to Varg.
Yep.
Yeah, so come on down. It'll be a lot of fun. Tickets are €20. All money goes to Palestinian charities. You can check our Instagram for more details, or the link in the description to the resident advisor link. Where
we made it. We're so Berlin now.
We're so obnoxiously annoying. Berlin. I just.
You had to say that it was resident advisor, right? You were like, "This is my moment."
No, because like, officer, you don't understand. When I said up the raw, I meant resident advisor.
I mean, also it's in collaboration with Irish Bloc Berlin, so definitely people are gonna be saying up the raw.
Yeah, resident advisor.
Yeah.
It's a totally normal and chill thing to say.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look up what else is happening on our night at Resident
Nothing. It's a
Advisor.
Sunday. Come to our thing.
It's Sunday, but it's...
You're in Berlin. You're unemployed. Come on.
You say that, but let's see. I mean, there's probably gonna be some guy named like, you know, I don't know, like DJ Floop or something. Would you rather go see him, or, you know?
No.
If it's a DJ, if it's a party, it's definitely gonna be after 10. So there's no excuse not to come.
Come pre-drink.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-drinks at hours. And then you go out.
And then you can be a little freak outside. Yeah, it's fine. Exactly. Or you can go to bed. No judgment. Judgment-free zone.
I have a VPN
I'll go
on,
straight to bed. Jesus Christ.
Resident advisor is
like pull up a blanket in the seat at Lark Berlin.
Yeah.
Little nightcap. Honk shoe.
That's me. That's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah. Sorry, Resident Advisor, just for a really depressing thing, because I had my VPN on, and it showed me what was going on in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Oh my god, Lord. No.
Oh no is
thank
right.
you.
So, how do I change the date on
Don't go to
here?
Dallas Fort Worth on the 18th of May. Come to Berlin.
No,
Come
yeah,
to,
exactly.
Späti presents, along with Irish Block Berlin, GYROVISION 5. This time it's personal.
That's right, exactly. Wait,
We'll
let's
find you and we'll
find
kill you.
Hey, we're you know what? We're right at the tippy top when it comes up in the beleeped area for the things that day.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a Sunday. You have nothing better to do.
Yeah,
Please
I don't
come.
know. You
Even
could go
if you're
to,
hungover.
I mean, you can go to Clubnacht at Berghain if you're fucking lame, or you could come and see us. But no, we are number 3 on the list of things, and I know that it is not. I'm not biased on this because I am using the fucking what's it called, the
VPN
incognito mode. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell
yeah, it'll be a lot of fun as per usual. Come on down, €20, all money to charity. You're gonna see our lovely faces. I think Uma has basically just confirmed that she'll dress up as a fabulous version of the Sleepy Time Bear. Sequins Sleepy Time Bear.
Yeah. Oh, I wish. That'd be
kind
so
of rips.
comfortable.
That'd be so cool.
Oh my god. No, it's not Eurovision themed. If next live
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. What is you know?
No, I'm committing to the one that I said.
Okay, cool.
I think.
All right.
Where'd you guys go? There you are.
With that, we will catch you on the bonus feed. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.